So let's talk about the best way to improve your mental health. So this comes up all the time in conversations with friends, patients, family members, etc. People want to know how they can be better, feel better, and ultimately function better. So if that's something that you're struggling with too, hopefully this will help. Before we talk about what some of those things are that you can do to improve your mental health, we need to first acknowledge that mental health is impacted by many different things, some of which we have complete control over, some of which we have little to no control over. And then there are some things that maybe we could control but do not know how to control them, or we do not know, have the resources to control them. But it's important to remember that only focusing on the things that we can control and exerting ourselves towards improving those areas gives us the greatest chance for success. The analogy that I like to use when talking to people about this is, imagine you in a boat. So a boat is being tossed around in an ocean. There are big waves, and sometimes the boat gets knocked around and it tilts really far and you get drenched and you But if you look outside the boat, the ocean is huge and there are bigger boats out there and they're getting knocked around too. Sometimes they're getting knocked around much more significantly than you are. And some boats aren't even moving. They're just sitting there getting hit by the waves. Now this is kind of like our lives, right? Like sometimes we have rough patches. Things are hard. We're stressed. We might be depressed. But then if you look around, you realize that other people are going through worse things than you are. And then also there are people that seem to be doing okay, despite having way more significant problems than you do. When we find ourselves in a rough spot, it can be tempting to focus on the part that we're not in control of, the wave that knocked us over, the wind that's pushing us around, the person that took our paddle so we can't move ourselves. But if we really want to improve our mental health, we need to focus on the parts that we can control, like the direction of the boat, how hard we're paddling, whether or not we're bailing out water, if we have life jackets on. Those are the kinds of things that we can actually exert some control over and improve our odds. Because it's not realistic to think that we can control the weather, can control the actions of others. We can control all the random crap that happens to us. But we can control how we respond to it, how we adapt to it, and whether or not we put ourselves in a better position to be able to handle it if it does happen. So with that said, here are 5 things that we can do to improve our mental health. No one. We need to keep ourselves at the top of our functional and emotional range. This is a concept that's described in the book Delivery. I really like it because it helps us prioritize our needs while acknowledging that there are people out there who have greater needs than we do. We should all try to keep ourselves at the top of our functional and emotional range, meaning that we should always be trying to improve ourselves. Work towards our goals, push ourselves a little bit outside our comfort zone, but not so far that we become overwhelmed. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and forget that we should be growing and striving to be better. So setting aside time to reflect on where we are, where we want to be, and then making small, incremental changes can really add up over time. No. 2. Move more. Moving more improves our mood, releases endorphins. It helps us sleep better, decreases our stress, and it increases our self-esteem. There are literally hundreds of studies that support the fact that exercise has immediate as well as long-term benefits on our mental health. If we want to improve our mental health, moving more is one of the best ways to do that. No. 3. Connect more. Human beings are social creatures. We need other people, we need community, and we need belonging. Loneliness and isolation increase our risk for a wide range of mental health problems. So staying connected to the people that matter to us, the people that are important to us. Maintaining those relationships, nurturing those relationships, but also building new ones is really important. One of the best ways that we can improve our mental health is by moving towards people rather than away from them. No. 4. Make more time for joy. Too often we get caught up in the hustle, the grind, trying to achieve our goals, trying to reach the next milestone, get the next promotion, buy the next house, get the nicer car. But if we're not careful, we can lose sight of what really matters. The things that bring us joy, the hobbies, the passions, the interests, the activities that enrich our lives. So intentionally making time for these things, putting them on our calendar, treating them like important meetings that we can't miss, because they are not things that we can just squeeze into the leftover bits of time in our schedule, but rather, they read the things that we should be prioritizing if we want to improve our mental health. And lastly, number 5, seek professional help. Talking to a therapist can be immensely beneficial, immensely helpful, and a really great way to improve our mental health. When we talk to a therapist, we're able to process our experiences in a safe and non-judgmental environment. We're able to get an objective perspective on our problems. We're able to learn new skills to help us manage our emotions and our behaviors. And ultimately, we're able to create a plan to help us achieve our goals. Going to therapy doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. In fact, it means that we're taking an active step towards improving our mental health. And it's one of the best things that we can do for ourselves. Improving our mental health is a journey, not a destination. It's an ongoing process that requires our attention and our effort. But by keeping ourselves at the top of our functional and emotional range, moving more, connecting more, making time for joy, and seeking professional help, we can set ourselves up for success. Remember, we can't control the waves, but we can control the boat. So let's do everything that we can to improve our mental health and well-being. If you found this video helpful, please share it with the people out there who can benefit from it. And as always, thank you for watching. Until next time.